Hello, here we are back again. I'm John Hodgson. I'm one of the artists working on the One Ring, Lord of the Rings role-playing game, Middle-earth role-playing game for Cubicle 7. And here we've got a sketch for Beorning's settlement. It's not Beorn himself's house. This is just a communal garden Beorning's kind of stronghold and kind of a cultural centre, if you like. I've kind of conceived these illustrations as being handy to show to players and to bring some atmosphere in a visual way. There's a lot of Tolkien isn't very heavy on description, so there's a lot of room for interpretation. But I think I think this kind of cultural look serves the Beornings quite well. So I'm working here in ArtRage. I've got my sketch, which was done in pencil, which is fairly rare for me. I usually work digitally, but this one I did in pencil in a sketchbook. That was scanned in. I've then overlaid texture from a real painting. I have a huge backlog of textures from my paintings at art school, where I was an abstract artist. And I've got all these funky paint textures that I can use to just break up the white page, which is kind of the worst thing you can be working on. So here we are. We've got this kind of banjo enclosure there. Big hall, roundhouse, and some smaller huts there. There's a few standing stones. Beornings seem to like their stones, so we've got some of those worked in. And I think we'll just start painting. What I usually do first, after this stage, is I just want to put some tone in. So we will pick up a new layer as a tint layer. I'm going to use some watercolour, and this will be, I'll show you my presets. Let me see here. Presets. I'm going to use unclean brush because I like that one. You can use unclean brush in ArtRage. It's a watercolour brush. You can use it for just about anything. Very versatile. So let's get a bigger brush and just start putting in some tone in areas I know will be dark. Just starts to model the form a little bit more, bring out some of the shape into 3 dimensions. Now I'm working on this image very large, so my brush is a little bit slow. I've got a pretty powerful iMac here that shouldn't have any problem with large files, but there's only so much power that ArtRage can actually make use of, so I'm just pushing slightly at the upper end of what ArtRage can handle and still be, a useful art program. So just using the same colour all around. I want a nice flow of, it's a good tip when you're painting to have a flow of the same colour all around the canvas, because that leads the eye. The eye is very good at finding patterns. The brain looks for pattern. So you can create a flow around the piece by using the same colour. Of course, that colour is getting modulated by what it's being laid over. I'm using transparent media here, so what's underneath is peeking through. But it starts to push things to being the same colour in the areas I'm putting paint down, which is no bad thing, as I say. Start to unify the piece a little bit. And then what we can do later is alter some of these colours either by painting over them or washing over them, using Photoshop to change the colours in areas we want to really stand out. So we can make this nice harmonious kind of ground that everything will be sitting on, and areas that I really want to pick out, possibly, for example, the door of the roundhouse there. That will probably be a bit of a focus for the piece. Just a general thought when I'm talking, composition wise. These pieces are quite interesting to do because I view these as quite information heavy, if you like. This is not about just atmosphere. If I wanted a real atmospheric shot, I would pull the camera right down, we would be looking through the gates, we would have an upward view through all these buildings, lots and lots of overlapping of buildings, but you would see a lot less of the layout of the place, and it would be about bringing the atmosphere. Whereas this one, I want you to be able to see what's there, what the place looks like, so that then when you're playing the game you can imagine yourself into this location a lot more easily, hopefully, or springboard, you know, your imagination into coming up with something similar of your own devising. Obviously I'm well aware, painfully aware, we're not going to please all the people all the time with this stuff, and you have to, with that in mind, you have to just go for what you think is right, I think, and try and stay true to how you see things as an artist and as the art director and so on. And Francesco, the writer of the game, has been very, very involved in at every stage of the artwork to just make sure it all reflects, firstly, an accurate vision of what is in the text, and also what we all feel is appropriate where the text doesn't give us many clues.